team, Supreme Team Lead. Yes, and I've got her here to get some questions answered. A lot of people are asking me questions about forbearance and if it's right for them and what are their options besides that. And so we have the expert here, and she's even gotten some new information today that she can provide. And so I'm going to ask her the questions I've been getting, and I'm going to get y'all answers. So, Bali, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. It's nice. The sun's coming out. It's every day is better.
Right, it really is. It is a very nice day. Well, so I have a lot of people that maybe are in a position where they need to maybe not pay their mortgage payment and do the forbearance, or they're hearing about it and it sounds like a great idea. Should people take advantage of forbearance options that mortgage companies are offering them?
So here's what the other update that I got today. If you're taking a forbearance, just only do it if it's a worst case scenario, your last resort, but also try to avoid being late on that mortgage. I always tell customers, try to refinance first before you even get there. Let's try to refinance. You get you in a lower payment, lower interest rate. With a lower interest rate, of course, your payments are going to drop. And then at the same time, if you have equity in your home, we can pay off some of your debt and reduce your monthly outgoing. And then if that's not an option because your debt to income ratio is probably too high, maybe you want to go ahead and sell, and you could list the house and get them into a cheaper mortgage payment that's affordable, and long term, they're not going to have those problems. The cool thing that I heard today for the forbearance is, if a person does take advantage of it and they've done it and they didn't speak to any of us and they had no clue, if they were late going into the actual forbearance program, so they ended up getting a 30-day late, and then they want to come out of the program later and try to refinance, they're going to have to wait 12 months just because they were late on the mortgage payment. But if they go into a forbearance program and they were never delinquent on the mortgage, remember you and I talked yesterday and we said that still if they took the forbearance program that they probably are going to have to wait. Well, the information that we received today, which every case is going to be different, and we're going to review it, and it has to go through approvals and go through the committee. If they have not been late for 12 months and not late through that forbearance prior to that, then we'll take a look at it, and there's chances to possibly go ahead and do the refinance regardless, or they can go get a new mortgage.
That's good news. So that's kind of like, that was good. What I was going to ask, because the next question I was going to ask you was, what are their options if they are in a bind? And you basically answered that. If they need to have been furloughed. Now, if they have been furloughed and they're about to go back to work, will they still be able to get a mortgage?
Absolutely not. And just in my black and white, straight to the point, because at the end of the day, if you are furloughed, you don't have an income coming in. So how are you going to pay for a mortgage when you have been laid off? So
how long after though that they went back to work?
So some people have been furloughed, but then they get to go back to the same job right after. They've just basically let them go for just temporary. But we have to make sure that you are back in. Your employer can verify. We've got to take a look at everything, and we should be good to go. But as long as the employer can verify that their employment is going to continue, it's fine.
So basically, they have to be back employed and probably at that same job.
But exactly. Or they could have another employer. They could have started a new job elsewhere, which is totally fine. As long as, when you're starting your new job, there isn't a 90-day probation.
Okay.
Because there's no guarantee after 90 days if you're going to get let go.
So that's a good thing to think about. So, and that just goes back to what you were saying. Every case is different.
Every case is different. We look at it. Every borrower is unique in their own way. But as long as everything makes sense and our exception desk approves it, we're good.
Okay. Well, the other question I had is, so say someone did a forbearance and they have to pay it in 4 months, and they don't have that money to pay in 4 months. What are their options then?
Again, what we're going to have to do is submit it through our committee to see if we can get an exception to approve it. The history that we are going to look at, that they never were actually late before they physically went into the forbearance. And now
So
if
it
they
sounds like what was going on before really matters.
exactly. So yeah, if they come out of the forbearance and then they're due all 4 of those payments per the servicing company, but then they're sitting around trying to figure out how to come up with that money. And then they actually hit a late after that because they sat around waiting for the servicing company to come back to them, then that could be a situation we might not be able to touch it.
Okay, so then they need to be very proactive with, if they can't pay it, getting something done so that it doesn't affect it for the next 2 years.
Yes, cannot get a 30-day late on the credit report regardless.
So now if they did do the forbearance and they're able to pay and at the lump sum and everything and they're good, but it does show that they did the forbearance on their credit somehow, how long after that are they able to qualify?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen forbearances show up on the credit report, is what I heard from the emails that came out. I personally have not seen it yet. I haven't dealt with a customer that's been in forbearance. But again, it's all going to come down to verifying that mortgage history. We're going to look for the late payments. Were they late before they hit the forbearance? Were they late when they came out of the forbearance? It's the late that's going to come back to backfire.
So that would be like if they should have went in forbearance and they've made themselves late and didn't do anything on it, that could affect them too.
Exactly. So some customers may sit around and just let their mortgage payments become late and present that as a hardship to the servicing company and say, look, I can't pay. And then they go into the forbearance program, regardless of anything, you became late. And it reported on your credit report, which you, in sense, whether you did it on purpose or whether you seriously are, it kind of shows it like hardship.
So it sounds like they need to not be paralyzed by fear and just take action, whatever that action may be. Exactly. Now, I did talk to some people that got a little nervous when this all happened, and they went ahead and refied. But then now they're like, I wanted to buy a house and sell my house, but how soon can I get another mortgage if I just refied? Is there any delay on that?
Well, it depends on how, when they closed with their lender, what the time frame was, the restrictions of how long you have to wait before you can sell. There's sometimes it's like 7 months, 8 months, depends on what that time frame was set when they were closing.
And so they'll be able to see that in their closing documents from that refi, I guess.
They might want to talk to their lender that actually closed them. They'll be able to tell them how long they actually have to wait.
That is good information, because I did get some calls from people that got scared, but now here we're in May and they're like, I refied, but what do I do? Can I still do this? And so it's good to know that. So it's case by case, more lender by lender.
It's case by case. They just need to call the person who did their loan and ask them, hey, is there a restriction on how long I have to wait? Since I went ahead and refinanced, do I have to wait a certain period before I can sell or do anything again?
Okay. All right. And then is there anything else that you found out in your meeting today that you think would be useful for everyone to know?
No, that was it. That was the newest update. And I talked to you yesterday about the Seth FHA 5-star program was back. So a lot of people were excited. So 660 and above credit score for the Seth program. Debt to income ratio cannot exceed 45%. And then you can borrow up to about 5%. And I think and it's all public information. You can go to the Seth website and check it out, but it tells you basically what the interest rate is for the amount of percentage of the down payment assistance that you're taking.
Okay.
So we're back on that to where the conventional product is not available for Fannie Mae, but the Seth FHA is.
Oh, that's a good thing to note too. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that explains, I've heard some people say they couldn't get the down payment and they were using a conventional, so that must explain why, or get the grant.
Right, so. And there is there's income limits on there as well. Of course, anytime you're taking a down payment assistance, there's the county income limits. Those are also public information. So if customers are trying to figure out, hey, would I be a good candidate? Would I qualify for down payment assistance? Public information, just look up Seth programs, the 5-star program. It will tell you exactly credit score requirement, and it'll tell you income limits for your county.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, so if anyone has any more questions besides what we've talked about, or they're in a situation they'd like to talk about, I'm going to tag Bali in this live here, and you can call her and talk about it. Or if you're in a situation, you talk to her and maybe there's not a lot that can be done, but you could sell and maybe you have to rent for a while. I'm here to help with that too. There's no shame in that. And sometimes it helps to regroup. And I've had clients that have done that in the past, and then they've been able to get the home of their dreams after.
Right.
So
exactly.
The storm. Yes. Well, you're awesome. And I'm so glad that you came on here to talk about this today, because I know it is a question a lot of people have, and they're getting letters, they're seeing advertisements for it. And also for the refi, everybody's pushing that and the forbearance. So it's good to know a little bit more about it.
Try to avoid the forbearance, but try to go for the refinance instead. It will make your life a lot easier. The interest rates are really, really good.
I had a question about the refi that I just thought of that someone asked me. If they're doing a refi and they're not getting cash out, are there different requirements for that than if you're getting a cash out refi?
So, of course, the interest rate's just a tad bit higher when you're doing a cash out. It's considered a Texas A6. So, your interest rate is just going to be a little bit higher. And then, of course, when you're doing a regular rate and term refinance where there's no cash out involved, your rate's going to be a little bit lower. Now, everybody has to remember these rates are credit score driven and loan to value driven. So, everybody's situation is unique. Yes, the interest rates are really, really good. And if you have the most perfect credit and the loan to value and the income ratio, then you're going to get whatever the going rates are.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I've heard people get as low as in the 2.75, but then I hear people in the 3s and even 4.
Those were there for a hot second. Those were there for a hot second, and they went away. So the people that did get it, they got really lucky. Now you might get it on the 15-year, but on the 30 years, those are gone.
Okay. So 15-year, you can still get a pretty low rate. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we had the interest rates where they hit bottom for a little while, where basically the 30-year interest rate was similar to a 15-year rate. That was when everybody needs to grab that. But no, they're still absolutely fabulous right now.
Awesome. Well, definitely reach out if you need anything to Bali or to me. We're here to help. And I thank you for coming and talking with me today.
You're welcome.
All righty. Well, you have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you soon.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.